there will be cooperation, because we all want to see a better judiciary.
President Tinubu swears in Justice Kudirat Kekereekun as new acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. Supreme Court upholds election of Kogi and Bayelsa state governors. And Nigeria Hydrological Services Agencies issues urgent flood warning over rising river water levels. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on Nta News24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Justice Kudirat Kekereekun is now the new acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu, who returned to the country in the early hours of this Friday, administered the oath of office on her at the council chamber of the State House. The 66-year-old, who emerges the second female CGN, succeeds Olukayode Ariwola, who retired from the position yesterday, Thursday, after barely 2 years.
Let me also reassure you that the judiciary under this administration will continue to receive prompt and adequate attention in recognizing its status as a driver of social order, rule of law, peace, security, and economic development. Undoubtedly, the position of the Chief Justice of Nigeria comes with enormous responsibilities. As the head of all judicial institutions in the country, it is a position of considerable influence that demands the temperance and sobriety. The occupant of the office must exude the highest level of integrity in the discharge of duties. This is more so because of the finality of the Supreme Court judgment. I therefore urge your Lordship to be faithful and loyal to the Constitution when discharging your duty as acting Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Indeed, very excited. We're very, very excited. First, because we have not kept any vacuum, in our democracy, and that's the beauty of it. Yesterday we had a former CJN step down, haven't attained, the statutory age, and within 24 hours, we've seen the beauty of our democracy. Mr. President himself had to stop his own trip to ensure that, governance and democracy does not stop.
I believe that there will be cooperation, because we all want to see a better judiciary. A better judiciary is for the benefit of the entire nation. Whatever the shortcomings that we see today, we're all members of the society. So if we want to see improvement, let the improvement start with each and every one of us and our approach to justice. Let us all also have faith in the system, and then we'll also be more particular about the process of appointment. I know it gives a lot of concern, discipline on the bench, at the bar as well. All these things are aspects that we will look into. And I believe that by the grace of God, at the end of my tenure, we will have a judiciary we can all be proud of.
The National Judicial Council had recommended the appointment of Justice Kekereekun as the next most senior justice of the Apex Court as the next CJN. She was elevated to the Supreme Court of Nigeria as the 5th female justice of the court and was sworn in July 2013. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has urged Justice Kudirat Kekereekun to uphold the principle of fairness and justice in undertaking her new assignment as Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. Congratulating the acting CJN on the occasion of her swearing in by President Bola Tinubu, Speaker Abbas believes Justice Kekereekun has the pedigree to bring reforms that will enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of Nigeria's judicial system. He expresses the readiness of the 10th House of Representatives to work with the judiciary under her leadership to deepen Nigeria's democracy while wishing the acting CJN a successful tenure. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Mr. Tayo Akimade Ayinde, the Chief of Staff to the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, as he marks his 60th birthday. The President commends Ayinde for his diligence and dedication, which he demonstrated while working as his chief detail during his time as Governor of Lagos State. In a statement, the President notes that Ayinde, an accountant, has brought the same zeal and exemplary devotion to duty to his job as Governor Sanwo-Olu's Chief of Staff. The President congratulates the Lagos Chief of Staff on the milestone and wishes him long life and robust health. Following several months of intense litigation before the governorship election petition tribunal and the Supreme Court, a final verdict has been delivered by the Apex Courts on the disputes arising from the November 2023 Bayelsa governorship election. The Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment this Friday, upheld the election and return of Governor Doye Diri. The judgment arose from appeals filed by the APC and its candidate, Timipre Silva, contesting the Courts of Appeal's affirmation of Governor Diri. During proceedings at the appeal courts, the courts dismissed Timipre Silva's appeal for lacking in merit. Having approached the Supreme Court for redress, the Apex Court held that the appellants were unable to support their claims of electoral malpractice with concrete evidence. In a related development, the Supreme Court also upheld the victory of Governor Usman Ododo in the 2023 Kogi state governorship election. The PDP's Governors Forum is meeting in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital. Declaring open the meeting, the chairman of the PDP's Governors Forum and Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, said the meeting is a platform to air views on issues of national interest and those that affect the party. He noted that the country is going through a lot of challenges in several sectors of the economy, and as PDP governors, they have to come together to discuss and proffer solutions to the challenges confronting the nation. The meeting later went into a closed-door session. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has charged media organizations in Edo State to use their various platforms to disseminate unbiased news and information about programs, events, and activities surrounding the September 21st Edo State governorship election. Jude Abugu, who was at the INEC meeting with media executives in the states, reports that the commission assures the electorate that all beavers needed for the election have been configured and are ready for deployment.
The role of the media in information dissemination, public opinion, agenda setting, and social mobilization has made the media an indispensable partner in the electoral process. It is in recognition of this role that INEC is engaging media executives in Edo State. The INEC National Commissioner, Voter Education, represented by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, appealed to them to use their various channels to communicate information that will help the electorate make informed decisions during the election.
In your capacity as media executive, you have the power to influence not just the outcome of the election, but the very fabric of our electoral democratic society.
Understanding the functions of INEC will help us to understand why INEC takes certain decisions.
While giving updates on Commission's preparation for the election, INEC officials urged the media executives to help disseminate information about BVAS technology, the Electoral Act, and voting procedures.
We asked the electoral officers of the best network that is functional in that unit, that word, and that is the SIM card network we deployed to that, polling unit.
The verification process is all about you being physically identified as a potential voter who registered in that particular polling unit.
Media executives in the state, including the Zonal Director, Nta Benin, Phil Obano, assured the Commission of continuous support.
As always, we'll do what we should do to ensure that not only the election is covered in a credible way, also to ensure that we do not carry any reportage that is capable of causing incitement.
The Commission used the forum to remind newly registered voters in the state to collect their PVCs at various wards and INEC local government offices across the state. In Benin, Jude Abugu, Nta News.
President Bola Tinubu has reiterated federal government's commitment to containing crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism to improve the nation's crude oil production. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the president, who was represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this at the graduation of Course 32 at the National Defense College.
This symbolic ceremony signifies the graduation and confirmation of fellowship of the National Defense College on these 11 officers, mostly from the Nigerian Armed Forces, paramilitary, strategic civilian agencies, and 19 others from allied countries. The event marks the end of 11-month course at the National Defense College Abuja, the Nigerian apex military training institution. The Vice President Kashim Shettima charged the graduates to develop applicable solutions to combat state and regional security challenges, stressing that the federal government is committed to further secure the nation.
We are also working tirelessly to curb the menace of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism in the Niger Delta. I have also charged the defense headquarters and other security agencies with curbing the menace of crude oil theft as soon as possible. This will no doubt boost oil production and achieve our desired economic stability. We will continue proactively intervening in matters that benefit our citizens. Recently, we have made significant strides in addressing some of these challenges. We have implemented a new national minimum wage, which will benefit not only civilian workers, but also personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces and other security agencies.
The National Defense College has for the past 32 years championed the development of a research-based approach to addressing emerging threats.
The mission of this college is to develop future leaders sufficiently equipped with the requisite knowledge and analytical skills necessary to harness the instruments of national power in a dynamic defense and security environment.
For these 111 officers and civilian participants from strategic government agencies who are now fellows of the National Defense College Abuja, the event is a transition to a higher level of command and control. From the National Defense College in Abuja, Ismail Musa, Nta News.
Meanwhile, troops have rescued 134 kidnapped victims, eliminated 171 terrorists, and arrested 302 persons, while 25 perpetrators of oil theft were also arrested in the last 7 days. In a statement, the Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, revealed that troops during the period under review recovered 84 assaulted weapons and 1,499 assaulted ammunition. Similarly, troops in the Niger Delta region discovered and destroyed 26 dugout pits, 13 boats, 90 drums and 45 storage tanks. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund, has confirmed receipt of 50 billion naira from recovered proceeds of crime by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Statements by NELFund's Director, Corporate Communications, Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Oseyemi Oluwatuyi says the FCC had also released the fund following directives from President Bola Tinubu. Nelfund says the money will further boost its program and depicting a major milestone in the present administration's commitment to bolstering access to education by providing financial support to students. Nelfund extends appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his unwavering dedication to the education sector and continuous efforts to support the vulnerable in society. Let's now take a break. We'll be back with more reports in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. Challenges of flooding can be mitigated if floodwaters are harvested, drained and channeled to canals for irrigation or other proactive uses. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are also of the view that prioritizing prevention through deployment of predictions and forecasts can be game-changing. Lydia Sampson reports.
With 28 states cutting across 113 local government areas already affected by flood, key players on Good Morning Nigeria are on the same page that houses on floodplains and human attitude to the environment needs to stop.
I believe strongly that emphasis should have been placed on prevention. And it will be worth noting that Nigeria as a nation seems not to pay emphasis to that, although they do say prevention is better than cure. But NISA prevents. But the institution that prevents, if it's not well funded, then what are we saying?
See, over the years, population of Nigeria, early independence period was about 40 million. Now we are more than 200 million. So people must build houses. Infrastructure is expanding. People must farm so that we can feed the population. So a lot of human activities which are definitely going to impact on the environment.
They are emphatic that though flood cannot be stopped, it only becomes a disaster where residential areas are flooded and overwhelmed. They commended the FCT, Jigawa, Lagos and Rivers states for the measures put in place to proactively tackle challenges of flood in their states, urging others to emulate them for holistic approach.
We are collaborating with the media.
Okay.
Because you are very important stakeholders in this. Enlightenment, public enlightenment. That's what we've been doing. That's what we are doing. Right. Telling people the negative impact of their actions. Indeed. And at least we are gaining on that ground. You've started, it's something that will take long, but we are on it.
With Nigeria being at the receiving end of River Niger, transversing Western Central African countries, the guests reiterate that building a buffer dam is crucial. They believe sustaining more multifaceted collaborations, sensitization, and reorientation of communities is key to mitigate recurring flood across the country. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, has issued an urgent warning to the public regarding the rising water levels of the River Niger system. The agency says the development is attributed to upstream activities in Niger and Mali, with reports from the Niger Basin Authority in Niamey, Niger Republic, but confirms that dams from these countries are not currently spilling water from their reservoirs. Director General of NISA, Umar Mohammed, in the warning, explains that flood waters from these countries are gradually moving towards Nigeria, starting with Kebbi, and that the agency will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide regular updates to the public. He states further that the risk of flooding is expected to peak by the end of August and into September, urging states and communities along the River Niger system to remain vigilant, even as dam operators at Kainji and Jebba, situated on the River Niger, have been properly informed and are on standby. In other news, Nigeria is keeping vigilance and strengthening surveillance, especially at entry points, as monkeypox continues to be a public health emergency at continental and international fronts. In the Mpox epidemiological summary of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the country still has no record of death from Mpox, but recording mild increases in cases. The total confirmed cases now stands at 39 out of over 800 suspected ones in 33 states, including the FCT. Giving an update after a national Mpox briefing with stakeholders and partners in Abuja, NCDC Director General Dr. Jide Idris and the World Health Organization country representative Dr. Walter Kazadi Molombo gave insights on ongoing national response and interventions to control and prevent its spread.
We have 40 cases, confirmed cases, out of about 830 suspected cases. Quite a number of them are in about 12 or 13 states. A number of them really in the south, southeast, some in Lagos, some in Ogun, and up north there, in the central. And the distribution again. And our plans now are to target those states so that we can reduce the number of, you can actually carry out active surveillance to detect more cases. But because of the spread, what is happening, we need to increase the number of laboratories we're going to use again to test. All the cases we have here are the clade 2B type.
We know it's an exceptional level of alertness where some kind of international coordination is required. And of course, Nigeria is not high risk, it's moderate risk, but we need to continue to remain vigilant because with cases reported as far as Europe or Asia, and Nigeria is not it's not safe until this overall event is safe. So we'll continue to work with the government to strengthen public health measures that are needed to control the outbreak.
As the country expects 10,000 doses of vaccines from the United States, the NCDC advises citizens to adhere to proven infection prevention measures. Now, another set of retired management staff of the Federal Capital Territory Administration has been honoured. Onoze Yakubu covered the community send-forth ceremony for the retirees in Abuja.
It was a moment of glees, glamour and mixed feelings, witnessing the exit of another crop of management staff of the FCT administration. In the presence of family, friends and well-wishers, these senior citizens are being honored for their contributions to the administration.
So the administration thought it wise to celebrate them, to just tell them thank you, because no amount of present will be enough to really celebrate and appreciate the sacrifices. But the fact that you're brought together to just be celebrated is one thing that government FCT has done, and it is the first in the country. Like I always say, we are always living, we are always setting the pace for others to follow. Because of them, and to appreciate them and also congratulate them.
Speakers commend their efforts, commitment and selfless service during their service years, urging them to use the new chapter of the post-retirement era to better their lives.
We are gathered here to commend and thank them for their remarkable service to Nigeria government. What cannot appreciate the contribution we've made. What we need to do is to give you more hope by engaging you where necessary.
Speaking on behalf of others, Yahya Hamza promises to rise up to any occasion as may be demanded by the FCT administration. 33 retired FCT management staff were celebrated at the event. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
The Etsunupe and chairman of the Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers, Alhaji Yahaya Abubakar, has called on Muslims nationwide to live in peace with one another and adherents of other religions. The revered monarch emphasized this at the National Mosque in Abuja while interacting with members of the new Board of Trustees of the Abuja Muslim Forum. Suleiman Abdul Wahab reports.
The Etsunupe and Chairman Coordinating Committee, National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, Yahaya Abubakar, who came with his entourage, was received by the new Board of Trustees and some of the members of Abuja Muslim Forum.
We are here physically to witness another great event and milestone in the effort in uniting the Muslim Ummah of this country. We believe strongly that the unity of purpose is very important. Our religion teaches unity, peace, and progress.
The monarch expressed gratitude with the new members, urged them to be God-fearing and hardworking, while soliciting support for God Almighty to guide them as they contribute to the socio-economic development of the country.
I congratulate you and pray Almighty Allah to guide you through to pilot the affairs of this noble body. Inshallah, our doors are open 24/7. Anytime you require our advice, whatever comment or observation, please let us know.
He calls on Muslim brothers to support one another, especially with their arms, as they strive to attain their individual goals. In Abuja, Suleiman Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
And that concludes the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.